hope she don't think that I think that she's some kind of hoe.
Hi everyone, it's Mistress Miley here again with a new video. I have not done a video for my YouTube in a long time, so I feel like this video is long overdue, and I'm stuck in quarantine, so what else is there to do but be productive? I hope everyone is out there being productive, even if being productive to you is just like watching TV, relaxing, meditating, reading, eating stuff in your face, having a drink, smoking your weed, whatever it is. I hope that you are doing it, because productivity can be just so many different things. It doesn't have to be one like set thing or whatever. I'm not even going to make a big thing about that on this video, because I just wanted to get straight to the point. So this video comes from what I talked about on Twitter. I made a thread about this story I'm going to tell today, and I also posted a little preview on my Instagram. And basically this video is going to be about a sugar story. So it's going to be a story about how basically instead of a sugar daddy, I ended up with a sugar sub because the universe just brought it to me. And the reason why I love telling this story so much is because it was such a random point in my life when it happened. It was not planned. It was not something I knew was coming up. It wasn't with someone that I had been texting forever, talking to forever on a dating site, and we finally decided to date or whatever. It literally was random and sporadic. So yeah, I'm going to get into that story today. You might hear a lot of background noise because I am outside of my neighborhood. I came back down to North Carolina from New York because New York is like a petri dish of the whole coronavirus going on, and I wanted to just be away from that. So I'm back in the countryside in North Carolina, enjoying all this fresh air, soaking up all this vitamin D, and just, you know, being my sexy, beautiful, badass self or whatever. But yeah, so let's I want to say that this story happened, I want to say October of last year. I was working my 9 to 5, had just got off work. I used to work in corporate fashion, like in fashion buying, numbers, like boring stuff like that. And I had just got home. I had a long day. I think I was really tired, just irritated, probably like some white people being passive aggressive in the office or something maybe going on. I don't know, who knows. But I was very tired. I remember I had already like been in bed, still had my work clothes on, but was already in bed watching Netflix, just completely over it, just completely telling myself, like, if anybody invites me to anything, I'm not going. I'm not leaving this house to do anything. I'm gonna order food in. I'm not even gonna cook. Like, I was just really over it that day. So I get a text from my friend at the time, because we're no longer like friends anymore, but I get a text from my friend at the time, and she's just like, oh my gosh, like, I'm on a date with a potential sugar daddy, but it turned out to be like a networking date, and all his friends are here, and I'm like here alone or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, you know, what is this supposed to mean to me? So I'm just like, okay, that's good. Like, have fun on your date, like, network, like, be safe. You know, I always tell my friends, if they're on like a date, be safe, don't leave your drink unattended, you know, stuff like that. It's stuff that you should know. And she was just like, no, you gotta come. Like, it's so much money in here, you have to come. Like, I'm here alone, I don't want to be here alone. Like, oh my gosh, it's just all his friends. Like, just, you know, going on and on and on. Me personally, like, her saying there's so many wealthy men in here didn't even really like make me jump up, because I already had 2 sugar daddies at the time. And like, for those that don't know, I've been sugaring since I was like 19 years old. So this stuff to me is like no longer surprising. Hearing about men with money is no longer like, oh my gosh, he got money, I talk to him. It's just like, okay, he has money, what can he do for me? Like, I'm not going to chase after him, whatever. So what really got me though was when she was like, oh, I'm alone. She just kept saying she was alone, and it's just like, your spider senses or your girl senses just go off, and you're just like, okay, she's my friend, she's alone at like a table full of a lot of men, I'm not gonna leave her alone there. Like, let me go meet up with her or whatever. So I'm just like, okay, I'll meet up with you, but they have to send me a car, because mind you, I live way uptown in Harlem, and the place that she wanted me to meet her at was like at an exclusive, like, members only cigar lounge / restaurant that was way like downtown. And you know, like, the time to even get those places on a train or whatever, I definitely wasn't taking a train, and I definitely wasn't gonna call my own Uber. Like, I'm doing you a favor, like, they need to call me an Uber. She was like, oh, of course, like, they're calling it now. I'm like, holy shit, like, they're calling it now? Like, I'm still like in this raggedy wig from work, still in these raggedy work clothes, like, just watching TV, like, looking crazy. I'm just like, oh my fucking gosh. So then I have to like get dressed really fast. So I think I ended up putting on this red dress I have. It's like what I call my sugar dress. It's like the dress that I wear if I can't think of anything else to wear, or if I really didn't plan, but I know it'll just go with like any occasion. It's like a red cocktail dress. I have it in one of my pictures where I'm like holding a wine glass from when I went to Vegas. But anyway, so I hurry up and get dressed. I switch out to like a wig or whatever that was already like had the curls in it and stuff like that. Good thing my edges were already laid, so like just put it on. And then the car was outside. it was raining, and that really made me over. I'm like, fuck, it's raining. I had to rush to get dressed, and now I have to go and like be social. Like, that's the worst thing when you like have to go be social or whatever. So long story short, I get in the car, I'm on the way there. She just keeps texting me. She's just like, where are you? How far are you? I'm like, girl, like, can the Uber get me there? Like, what am I supposed to tell him, to hurry up, push the pedal to the metal? Like, girl, I'm gonna get there when I want to get there. Like, entertain them, talk to them. Even if you have to go to the bathroom and freshen up or whatever, like, even if you have to do like a quick escape just so you're not in an awkward situation, I'm like, girl, just do it or whatever. So I finally get to the place, and it's like this lounge that's way above the city or whatever. And when I get there, it's not something where you can just go in and go straight up to the lounge. Like, they have to call up, they have to call whoever like you're coming to see, and they have to let you know, yes, they're coming to see me, and they have to like let you in, they have to escort you and all this stuff. So after going through that process, I finally get upstairs, and she comes to the door to get me, and she's just all, okay, do this, do that, make sure like you have your legs crossed like this, and make sure you say this, don't talk about like your dominatrix stuff, like don't do any of that. I'm just like, girl, I've been doing this for how long? And mind you, like, she wasn't like a seasoned sugar baby, so like she was someone that was just getting into the sugar bowl, so a lot of stuff to her, like, she was probably overthinking or whatever like that. That's just her own problems, like whatever's going on. So I'm just ignoring all that, like, girl, just get me to the table so I can get this dinner, like get these drinks, whatever, like make it worth my time. So we're walking through the lounge, and like all you see is just like, you can just tell like it's money in there, whatever, like, you know, everyone's so uppity, bougie, whatever. I'm just like, let me just get to the table and see like what's the big deal about, like who is at this table. So I get to the table, and of course, as they should, all of them stand up and they shake my hand. We do little air kisses and stuff like that. So usually you can tell, like, especially with wealthy men, you can tell who's a gentleman by how they greet you. So the fact that they all stood up when I walked in was just a good pointer for me. It was like, okay, they're gonna be respectful, whatever. Also, like, I'm looking around, because I always just look at little shit like this. I'm looking around and notice, of course, I'm the only black woman in there. Probably me and her were the only women in there, because it's like a boys club. Like, for the most part, cigar lounges are like a boys club. You might have a lot of like women here and there that might come every now and then, but for the most part, it's a lot of just men that go there. So I do recommend going to cigar lounges in your city to like meet up with like single wealthy men or just wealthy men in general. But anyway, so I sit down at the table, I sit beside her, and then beside me is a friend, and then blah blah blah. But we're gonna focus on the guy I turned to a sugar sub. We're gonna call him Rob. Let's call him Rob. So I end up sitting across from Rob, and you know, they're just talking to me like, oh, like, what do you do, stuff like that. And I remember she was telling me like, don't talk about the dominatrix stuff, but of course, like, I'm an Aquarius, I'm gonna talk about what I want to talk about. Like, who cares? Like, it's my business. So I just told them like, oh yeah, I'm a dominatrix. I also work in corporate fashion. Of course, they don't care about the corporate fashion stuff. All they hear is dominatrix, and just instantly the whole conversation just switched to wanting to know everything about me. And friend is just sitting here just like over it, but at the same time, she's noticing like they're loving what I'm talking about. So like, to me, like, to go off sidetrack, to me, when it comes to like when you're at the table or having dinner with these type of men, like, don't think you have to act ditzy or act clueless or act really really just like, oh yeah, I'm just here and I'm cute and like whatever, I can just sit here and blink because I'm cute. Like, honestly, personality knocks it out the park, like, every time. And when I go on these dates, I don't act like anyone but myself. Like, I don't sit there and say, oh well, let me act this way, or let me not tell him this, or let me not tell them that because they might view me a different way, and oh, because I'm black they really might view me a different way. No, like, I say whatever I want to say and I leave it at that. So we just keep talking about Dom stuff or whatever, and I randomly say how, like, one day, because this is still true, like, one day I want to open up my own BDSM dungeon, you know, ran by all women in the city. And Rob is just like, oh, I can invest in that. And he just randomly says that, and you know me, I look at him like, we're gonna talk later, because I didn't want to expound on it too much. But like, long story short, we like had a great time. Everyone's drinking, laughing, cigars, endless food, whatever you want to eat, like, they allow you to order it. As many drinks as you want to drink. I don't smoke cigars, so I didn't really smoke a cigar, but you know, it turned out to be really really good. And you know, I was really relaxed, and I was kind of glad that I came at the end of it all, because you remember, I wasn't gonna go, like, at all. So at the end of the day, I go downstairs, like, we go downstairs, and the guys are like getting us cars to leave, and I noticed that Rob is like really on me. He's just like, oh, you know, let me make sure you get your car. I want to make sure you specifically have your car called or whatever. Take my number. We can set up a date for the end of the week, because mind you, it was like a Tuesday, I think. He's like, we can set up a date for Friday when all this business stuff is over and I can just relax or whatever. I'm like, okay, Rob. I keep doing this because his name is so I take Rob's number and I go home, and he texts me and he's just like, I really want to know more about your Dom stuff because I am submissive. Like, I don't know if your friend told you, but like, I'm very submissive or whatever. Mind you, like, she didn't tell me he was submissive. I don't know if she was trying to like hide him from me because he was like the wealthiest one at this table, because mind you, like, the table was in his name, and like, he comes from like a long range of money. He's like older, he's like in his 60s, so he's been doing this stuff for a long time, has like a lot of businesses and stuff like that. So anyway, as time progresses, like, we start going on more dates. It gets to the point where we're going on a date like at least once a week. The first date we had privately, I already let him know like my intentions. I let him know what I'm looking for. I let him know what I won't do, because I feel like on any sugar date, whether it's a regular sugar daddy or a sugar sub, always say what you want, because first of all, you can't assume that they will assume and just go ahead and give it to you. Like, you have to say what you want, because the dates can keep going on and on and on, and here you have nothing but dinner and drinks, which is fine, but like, that's not the goal when we're sugar dating. Like, when we're sugar dating, we are wanting to invest in ourselves. We are wanting to have luxury experiences and stuff like that. So basically, I told him like, yes, I'm dominant. I'm looking for someone that is generous, very submissive, that, you know, I won't take no shit from nobody. I'm not somebody that like needs anybody. Like, I made sure I made that known to him, and I let him know like, I do not want a sexual exchange at all. The only exchange I want is me being dominant and me basically controlling you. And he was like, that's perfectly fine, because that's all I want. Like, he said, I've had a lot of dates where it's just like, or a lot of sugar babies where it was sexual and nothing was there, and he was like, I'm tired of that. Like, I'm getting older. Like, I just want something now where I can completely serve a woman, and I don't care if I get anything in return. I just want to serve them. And I'm just like, hell yes. Like, I do this for a living anyway. Like, you're wealthy, you're cool, like, whatever. So as time progresses, we go on more and more dates. It gets to the point where I'm getting a weekly allowance from him. He's paying my rent, my bills, anything that comes up along the way. Always gifts, like, always taking me to shows, dinners. And then we're like 4 months in. Was that 4 months? 3 months in, because the Heisman Awards was in December, I think. Was it in December? I want to say it was in December, beginning of January. But anyway, so he invites me to the Heisman Awards, and like me, I don't watch football. Like, I don't know shit about football, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'll go, because most likely it's going to be like celebrities there. It'll be my first time being like a TV audience, like for sports or whatever, and like, it'll be like really classy, and it's something that like not a lot of people can go to, because from what he was telling me, they only give a limited amount of tickets, and then everyone gets like a Heisman Trophy football. So I'll get that football when he receives it and mails it out to me. But anyway, so I'm like, sure, I'll go. And he's just like, yeah, like, you also might find some clients there, because I have a lot of friends that are into this stuff too. I'm like, bet, I'll go. Like, to me now it turns into business. So now, like, I'm bringing my business cards with me. And the night of, it was just such a wonderful night. He gets me a suite. It's like a suite at a hotel. I forgot what hotel it was, but it was in like the Times Square area. And he gets me a suite because he's like, I just want you to be closer to the event or whatever, so you don't have to worry about having to like call an Uber home at the end of the night. Like, you'll just be close to the event, or we don't have to worry about getting you a car and you worry about going home. So he gets me my own suite. And the suite is like beautiful. I get dressed there. I meet him for dinner before, so we go have dinner before, like at a steakhouse. Really, really nice. Like, I'm used to just eating at steakhouses anyway when I go out with my sugar daddies or sugar subs. And we go to the Heisman Awards, and that was really, really fun. I will say that I met one person that he knew who is also like a CEO, and he became a client, but he was like just like a short-term client. He wasn't somebody I had for like a long time. He had like a sissification, feminization fetish, which is like cross-dressing, dressing up like a woman and stuff like that. He had a fetish for that. So like, you know, I had a couple sessions with him here and there that paid well. But after, we ended up going to another hotel across the street, and they were having like an after party there. And it was just like all these like old NFL legends and stuff. I didn't really know any of them. Can't really remember their names, like, to tell you the truth. But they were really cool. I passed out my business cards or whatever. So now it's like to the point where my business cards are just out there circulating. Whatever comes from it, comes from it. You know, I'm always manifesting, so something will come from it. Of course, I will get that coin, like whatever it will be, whenever it will come. Yeah. So yeah, so, you know, we had the date, it was fun, and we still are like talking every day now. It kind of sucks because I want to see him. Like, you know, he has like a club where he's like he can go there and like shoot guns and stuff like that too, and he's just like really cool. But I say like this story just to say, like, just say what you want whenever you're sugaring. Even for those that are newbies that haven't started sugaring yet, just go ahead and get it in your mind that like you're going to want certain things, and it's okay to say the things you want. I think the problem that a lot of women have in relationships, whether like whatever relationship it is, they have a problem telling people like, oh, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. They kind of feel like they have to accept it. And especially when it comes to men with money, they really feel like they have to accept any bullshit. Like, no, don't do anything for a piece of change. Like, please don't. Like, go ahead and tell them your standards right above. Right away, not right above. Go ahead and tell them your statements right away, what you want right away. I say do this on the first date if you haven't already done it through messaging before you guys meet, because the worst they can say is no, and you didn't waste your time. Like, it was only one date, or it was only text messaging. Like, you'll move on to the next person. Trust me, there are millions of men out there that are willing to do for you what somebody else won't do. And I'm not even trying to sound corny, but like, it's literally true. Like, I don't get hung up if I tell someone my needs and they're like, no. I'm like, okay, bet. It was nice talking to you, or whatever. Usually when I say it was nice talking to you, they usually come back because they're just like, oh, like, she's really like serious about what she wants. And that is true, because I am always serious about what I want. But yeah, just make sure like you tell people what you want. I've had this sugar sub now since October, and like I said in my post, he has not even ever seen a crumb of my vagina. He's never touched my vagina. He's never seen my boobs. I don't even send him nude pictures or nothing. The most I've ever done with this man is have a private BDSM session where I was in like a bodysuit, and that's what I typically do in all my sessions anyway, so it's nothing different. And he likes like kisses on the cheek and stuff like that, which is like whatever. But yeah, and I managed to get what I want because I'm upfront about it. I'm very nice. I'm not mean. I'm not like, hey, you're gonna give me this much money. I'm like, hey, these are some goals I have, and you know, I really feel like they could be met easier if you were to help me. And so just having goals or having something set out, even when you come, you know, on the date or whatever, you might say, hey, like, I have a business, this is my plan, like, this is what I want to do. I'm not saying turn it into like a business meeting, but just kind of mention it. Like, you know, for the most part, sugar daddies or sugar subs like to see like women that have goals, or women that, you know, want something to be invested in. So yeah, that's my story about how I met my sugar sub. I hope you guys meet your sugar sub one day, sugar daddy, whatever it may be. And you know, just realize it's coming. Like, a lot of people say, oh, like, I won't ever find anybody. Like, seeking arrangement has so many scams, blah blah blah. Yes, seeking arrangement does have scams, and it also doesn't have scams. I've met plenty of my sugar daddies on seeking arrangement. I used to be ambassador for seeking arrangement. You know, all sites are gonna have scammers. That's across the board. I mean, I even run across scammers on Instagram, Twitter, like whatever. It's just gonna happen. Like, people are shitty people. Like, they don't care. But I will say, get offline. Like, go in person. Nothing hurts to go in person at all. So definitely do that. And yeah, that's my story. To my YouTube, I'm gonna try to update more frequently the videos. I know I say this like every time. I think somebody got on me in my comments actually about saying this every time. But yeah, make sure you subscribe. I'm gonna try to do like more videos, more like get ready with me, like Domme edition, more story times and stuff like that. For those who don't know, I run something now called the Sex Academy. So it is for those that want to learn about sugaring, sex work, BDSM, regular sex talk stuff. It is basically like a course outline. You pick your tier. It's hosted by Patreon, and the tiers are only $5 a month. That's really cheap. Or you can get all 4 tiers for $20, and you can also get one-on-one mentoring with me, plus all those tiers for only $25. So I wanted to make it really affordable, especially during a time where I know a lot of people have lost like their way to make their money, or they're having trouble with their finances. So I will link that below. Also, I will also link you to my Instagram. I do a lot of updating on Instagram. Twitter is where I tell a lot of these stories before they hit like YouTube and stuff. So yeah, just check me out. I'll link all that below. If you're still trying to get into Black Dom Sorority, I will link the application below. We just had April inductions, so the next inductions won't be until the first Monday in May. But I will make sure I try to get to everybody. I go through a lot of applications. I get a lot of applications. I get applications almost like daily at this point. But yeah, so I will be looking into that. And thank you so much for watching this video.